Hi, everybody. This is Dr. Stephanie, your double board certified critical care physician who works with physicians who are struggling with their jobs, burnt out with their careers, or who just want some career advice. Through my books, webinars, coaching, and speaking, I help physicians discover alternative jobs and careers in medicine so that they can practice medicine on their own terms. And so tonight we're going to take a couple of minutes to talk about what you should do when it seems like your locums search is taking too long. I've talked to a couple of people over these last few weeks, and they have all told me that they have had difficulty because it seems like their locum search, their search for assignments, is taking longer than they initially anticipated. And I just wanted to share a couple of strategies of how you can deal with this when it happens to you. It has happened to me before because locums is just like everything else. The market ebbs and flows. And for the most part, there is, demand for locums doctors in various specialties. But depending on the time of the year, depending on the location, and depending on what's going on in the world and in the country, demand might be a little lower at times. As you know, Texas is just recovering from Hurricane Harvey. Florida, other parts of the southeastern United States are recovering from Hurricane Irma. U.S. Virgin Islands and the Caribbean also recovering. And hi, Dr. D. Thank you for supporting me. Dr. D is killing it at the locums game, so she can chime in and give some advice. But I do want to offer my thoughts and prayers for people who are currently being impacted by both of these natural disasters. So the first thing we're going to talk about is what you should do when it's taking too long for you to find a locums assignment, or it's taking longer than you think it should. The first thing that you should do is to broaden your search. So what do I mean by that? I mean that you should do what you said you weren't going to do and go where you said you weren't going to go. This is what I mean. A lot of us physicians have multiple skill sets, and a lot of people are actually trained in various specialties. And when we start looking for locums assignments, a lot of times we start looking for locums assignments in our specialty. And that's great, and we should do that. However, sometimes there may not be as many locums assignments in our particular specialty, and so we may have to be a little more broad in our search. For example, I'm a critical care doctor, so now I just do critical care locums. But a couple of years ago, when I first moved to Texas and I was waiting for my Texas license, I needed to do some locums assignments, and I needed something really quickly. That particular summer, the locums market for critical care was not great, but I needed to get an assignment. So I took several assignments as a locums hospitalist, and guess what? It paid the bills. So for those of you who have options in terms of multiple specialties that you can do, multiple types of medicine that you can practice, take a locums assignment in the particular area of your practice, a particular area of your scope of practice that is in the most demand. For example, if you are trained in primary care, internal medicine, pediatrics, family practice, and let's say you want to do urgent care, but guess what? There may not be a lot of urgent care locums for your location. And what may be available may be, a traditional office setting or traditional inpatient medicine. So you may need to switch gears and say, well, right now there's not a lot of urgent care locums available, so maybe I need to consider taking a locums assignment in that outpatient practice. So that's what I mean by that. The other thing is you should consider going places where you said you will never go. Remember, locums is oftentimes needed in places in which it is difficult to recruit and retain physicians. So you're not going to be getting to go do locums in, California a lot, although there are some opportunities available, and even there's some opportunities available in Hawaii. But those are few and far between. And if you want to work on a regular and consistent basis, you might need to do some locums in some underserved areas. So those places where you said you'd never go, I need you to consider going there, because that's where I go, and I've been quite successful in a lot of these places. Because the thing to remember is this: more places are more alike than they are different. More hospitals are alike than they are different, and you're going there to work. So you have to remember why you are doing locums in the first place. And for most of us, it's because we need a job. So therefore, go where you can go work and do what you can do and get paid for it. And if you change this mindset and broaden your locum search, I guarantee you will find that you will have more opportunities. And the other thing to remember is it's often easier to get a job once you have a job. So it's often easier to get other locums assignments when you already have a locums assignment. So the key is you just have to break through and get that first one, get in the habit, get in the groove, get your mojo back, and then you will see that other opportunities begin to come. The second thing you need to do when your locums assignment is taking a little longer than you think it should is talk to recruiters, and talk to multiple recruiters, because recruiters are literally your gateway to these assignments. So I recommend you talk to multiple recruiters from multiple companies, and talk to your recruiters on a regular and consistent basis, because you want to develop a good working relationship, you want to establish rapport, but you also want to keep your fingers on the pulse of what's happening in the locums market. And so the more you communicate with your recruiters, the more you reach out to them, you will be at the top of their list when another assignment comes up. So I would recommend, you reaching out to them at least once a week. If you find yourself in a situation in which you need something quick because something has changed and you really need to get some assignments lined up, I recommend that you get on the phone and you start calling your recruiters and talking to them, because having good working relationship with multiple recruiters is another good way that you are going to find really good assignments. And the most important thing in this locums game is just simply to keep the faith. Because the thing about locums, which is a plus and a minus, is because it is so flexible and it gives you so much flexibility that sometimes with the increased flexibility, there's not a lot of stability. So, you can kind of pick and choose which assignments you want to go on and where you want to go and how you want to schedule. But at the same time, the clients can pick who they want to work, when they want to work, how they want them to work. So the increased flexibility that you have means that things sometimes aren't as stable as you are used to. And so there ebbs and flows. Things might be busier in terms of locums assignments that are available. Things might kind of, slump down. But the thing that you have to do is always remember just to be positive and be encouraged, because your next locums assignment is just an email, a text, or a phone call away, because things change every day in medicine, and things change every day in the locums field. A client may think that they have everything staffed fully, and then the next thing they know, they don't. You may think that you have everything lined up for the next 6 months, but then one of the clients cancels your assignments 4 months from now because they filled the position with permanent doctors. So things change on a regular basis. So therefore, it's very important that you not only keep an open mind, but you also have to just stay positive and know that, the next assignment is just around the corner. And it's also important that you just keep the faith and be positive, is because Nobody likes dealing with the negative Nancy. So if, recruiters are calling you and you're kind of bitter and you're frustrated and you're angry because things aren't going your way, you might not be the person that they want to work with, and they may be a little hesitant in terms of presenting you to the next client. So, always just kind of keep the faith. So I just want you all to stay encouraged. I just want you all to know that, and Dr. D says, beware that the client can pull your shift. So always have backups. Ding, 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 ding. Dr. D has been in this game for a while. And when I tell you that Dr. D is killing it with locums, she is killing it, because Dr. D took my advice, and Dr. D goes where the jobs are, and she's absolutely right. The client can pull your shifts, so always have backups, because one of the things we talk about in my Locums Life Academy course is that we talk about the fact that the companies and the clients schedule physicians to meet the needs of the client. Okay, so they're not concerned about whether or not you are, happy, or whether or not you are, being convenienced. They are concerned about their needs. And when they no longer need you, you are no longer needed, and they will pull your shifts. So in order to avoid having yourself in a situation in which you thought you had 6 months of locums lined up, and then you turned out that you only have a month, because they can cancel your shifts within a 30-day notice, and then you're like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Then you get a little depressed because you get a little scared. So you always want to have backup. And Dr. D says, I want everybody to know I am where I am because of Dr. Stephanie. She's awesome, and everybody needs to register for the Locums Life Academy. D is my sweetheart. But I'm telling you, she is really doing a good thing with this locums work. So she is somebody who has really taken this to heart. And she's absolutely right. Always have backup. So, and that's why you do want to broaden your search. You do want to go where the jobs are, and you want to do the jobs that are available. Bottom line, go where the jobs are and do the jobs that are available. If you're in the locums market and you are super, super, super specialized, then you might not find as many locums assignments in your super, super, super specialty. And if you still can practice medicine and feel comfortable practicing medicine in one of your other specialties that has a lot of demand for locums, then you need to do that. And like I said, in order to always have a backup, you always have to have multiple recruiters that you work with, multiple companies, and multiple assignments coming down the road. And the most important part is to keep the faith. I do want to encourage you guys, if you want any more information about locums, how it works, how it gets started, is to download your free copy of my locums ebook, bit.ly Dr. Stephanie Locums ebook. This book is a quick and easy read. It gives you the nuts and bolts about getting started with locums. And for those of you who are more interested in having something more detailed in terms of how you can actually do locums and how to get started, I do recommend that you visit my website for the Locums Life Academy, and it's www.locumslifeacademy.com. Right here, www.locumslifeacademy.com. Thank you so much for joining me. Be blessed, and we will talk soon. Bye-bye.